So I'm here together with Virpi Oinonen after the Enterprise CO meetup in London. I'm posing the question to everybody: what is the state of social collaboration within the UK? So what's your opinion on this? You wrote an interesting book with nice visualizations on social intranets within the organization. What is your opinion about the UK state of social collaboration?
It's getting there, but it's not. These kinds of meetups tend to attract people who are quite well, know about it and are interested in it. But I wouldn't say the UK is that far in the social revolution yet, because you just get a slightly skewed picture of the situation just by going to events like this. The reality is that most organisations are still in the kind of, old-fashioned mode. But there's interest. It's kind of, that Yammer, if you know about Yammer and how Microsoft bought Yammer and are now integrating Yammer with the Office product, I think that is one sign that this thing might go mainstream fairly soon, just because of this, link up. And I don't know what other big players are going to do, Google, IBM, whoever. But it's I think bundling up social with existing productivity tools, office tools, is probably the way it's going to sneak into bigger organizations in the future.
What are your reasons for, or where do you see the reasons for the hindering of this evolution, of this development of social?
Inertia. It's just how people are. It disrupts certain types of hierarchies, which if you work really hard to get to a management position, in some organization, and suddenly this type of kind of new social way of doing things comes up, and some junior staff member or an intern even comes up with an idea that is actually pretty good, and they kind of manage to kind of solve problems, and you're there fairly high up in the hierarchy and you didn't have anything to do with it. Are you going to feel happy about that? Also, it's fear to some extent, and sometimes it's just the word social in itself, which is the problem, because if you hear that something is a social network, you go like Facebook, Twitter, social, nothing to do with work. It's still a big problem, the word social, I would say. So if we can use other words, that would be brilliant.
Is it a problem that a lot of UK companies jumped early on the bandwagon of social and introduced social networks within the company without having really a real business objective for it?
That is a big problem as well, because they're just kind of, when you introduce social networks in that way, when you don't think about how it's going to help the business, they often, not always, but often end up failing, and then you have this really bad memory of the social network. And what are you gonna, after that, somebody comes and tells you, oh, these social networks are brilliant, you're kind of bringing out the innovations and making you more efficient and collaborative, and they go like, yeah, we tried that, it didn't work. So it's a big problem. So the kind of first failure will for years, it will kind of tarnish the word enterprise social networks or social business. So it is a big problem. That's why people should kind of think a bit more when they introduce these things. Sometimes they work, or just because people discover that they can use the tool for something very useful. But yeah, kind of being a bit more kind of thoughtful about it is quite important.
What would you say, who's still the key driving role for social within the UK?
Key drivers?
Yeah, the key driving role, also the key driving position within the companies.
That's a really good question, because sometimes it seems to be different people in different organisations. So it can be IT, it can be internal comms in some cases, but internal comms tend to treat enterprise social as another communication channel, which it is, but it's so much more. So they sometimes it's just some random team somewhere. So it's really difficult. I must say I don't have an answer to that. If sometimes really good implementations, some really good enterprise social implementations come from really random departments. But IT, internal comms, kind of in my radar, tend to be the biggest ones, but I don't know if they are the best.
Great, thank you for the interview.